So you see to them.
Okay, so you'd agree with me that experience in managing, even a bench. You said you've never been in a situation whereby you've sat even with colleagues in one bench. I think that's what you said, that that also is a, it's necessary to have that kind of experience, which probably you know.
When we get to the Court of Appeals, to the Supreme Court, I'll be one among his equals.
All right.
There are many judges there who have vast experience in these matters, vast experience at the Court of Appeal, vast experience at the High Court. So there's nothing we lack. It's just a question of teamwork. You can, get off the chair over the Supreme Court in a session where we are doing the conference, and hand over to somebody else who takes charge and guides everybody and leads and teaches. In fact, a colloquium is an issue of teaching, exchanging ideas. Sorry, not a colloquium, but a conference. Is a teaching and exchanging and sharing differential, merging differential, etc., so that you are able to create a consensus. And that is where we are. The issue of being Chief Justice and Chairman is just peripheral. I mean, this is a team of equals. And we must always recognize that there are two types of seniority, insofar as the legal profession is concerned. The seniority based on the date of admission to the role of advocates, seniority based on the date of appointment as a judge, the date of entering that role. So those must be taken into account. But overall, knowledge, expertise, experience, goodness, cleverness, and what have you are not an issue of possession. They are an issue of knowledge. Knowledge is basically knowledge. You know or you don't.
My Lord, I was referring to the experience.
Honorable Judge, maybe you can be addressing the commissioner asking the question with respect. It's good to address the commissioner asking the question first.
I was referring to the experience. You see, the High Court judges, sometimes you find that a bench has been impaneled, so they manage that. Same thing also in the Court of Appeal, of course, they deal with benches, and Supreme Court also, they sit, and many of them. That's what I was referring to. But now, again, I'm wondering, you said that when you were asked one of the questions, I think it's when you were asked about leadership, and you said that you've not sat in any big office, and you actually talked about having risen up to, I think, senior state counsel, and then you referred to being a senior, I think, legal officer or something at the TSC, then you became a judge in industrial court. Now, so I'm wondering, if we give you again this position of the Chief Justice, which is quite senior, where you are responsible for for a lot of resources, a lot of issues, is an arm of government with many responsibilities. Now, I don't know what you do to convince me that the learning curve wouldn't be a challenge, because we can't take chances. It's a position. You see, there's a position that there's also very high expectations from Kenyans, the members of the public. Now, I'm just wondering, as the Judicial Service Commission, how would I, for instance, as a commissioner, account to Kenyans that I've given to my Lord, yet, the burden of proof on his part that he is equal to capacity, not based on what he's telling me that he'll do, but based on his past, that he can do to prove that he's equal to the task. How would I be able to account to Kenyans? I'm asking this with tremendous respect, not to demean what you've done before, but I'm just saying responsibilities versus what you've done at the office. How do you convince me so that I can be able to give you marks with that in mind?
In the first parliament, 1963, when we got independence, most of our cabinet ministers were less than 30. They were politicians. We had not been, we had not ruled ourselves whatsoever, but we walked through. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was a president. He has not been a president whatsoever. He was just an activist, a politician, a freedom fighter, but we walked through. What we are saying is that to gauge what I'm capable of doing as a Chief Justice, look at what I did in Sharia House in 1.5 years between 1985, 1st of August, and January 1987. Gauge that, look at it, etc. How did I relate? How did I mean, performance, etc. Whom did I lead? Whom didn't I lead? Because even when you get people from, people, your clients coming in and working happy, and you do a job and you get results, there must be a sizable amount of leadership. We have not been in these places or in big office because nobody gave us an opportunity. You cannot hang us for that. Look at my personality, if you are able to. I don't know, that will be difficult for you as a commissioners. My personality, where have I been? Go to my village if you can at Chuka. Look at what I do. Do I own a cow or two, and how do I feed them, etc. Leadership is not an issue of office. And if that is not answering enough, learning does not take centuries. It is just a question of if we landed into that office today, would be able to sit there. Two, you are working with a team. I must not be ICT. I must not be HR. But we have people there who are HR. If I find them inadequate, I'll be able to bring expertise. So you, a leader, just sits there and implements a policy and shows the way. I went to the KIA for a course a long time ago in my TSC days, and we were taught about the difference between a leader and a manager. This is the difference. A leader thinks, states, and leaves. A manager is left by to implement. So if you have the idea, the implementation is not an issue for the leader. You have the idea and you say it. What we would do as Chief Justice would not outrightly abandon management. We'd have to combine the two and be on the lookout. But we are saying that you cannot do everything. I am not a teacher, but all the schools around here would get taught if I was in charge of them, because I would get teachers and good teachers to do that. So you incorporate and you apply whatever resources, human resources you have to be able to get what you want. You lead. Now, and others follow.
My Lord, now you said, again I'm picking this from what you said. And
please.
I only have 3 more questions. That after you came back from the political seat that you attempted to get, you started legal practice, which lasted for 11 months. I'm just quoting you verbatim.
Please.
11 months, and then you decided to go back to employment at a Teacher Service Commission.
Yes.
Now, I'm just trying to understand what made the law firm not last beyond 11 months. Nothing wrong with that, but I just want my understanding so that I can see how to place you in terms of...
A very simple answer. I left the Sharia house to go for NITHI. NITHI was disastrous. I realized that I did not have any future. I was not a politician. I would not cope with it. So I came back to Nairobi to pursue my career, my profession. In the absence of anything else, I opened an office. I have always known that I am not a practitioner. Private legal practice, hands off. That is not my line. There are so many other things I can do in law, with law, but not a successful legal practice. I'm not your personality. I am myself. I have my limitations. I have my gifts. Private legal practice is not one of them. That is why you realize that after my hurried departure from the TSC, I go to Ongata Rongai and sit there and start a practice as a pioneer counsel in that place. 3 years down the line, 2 years down the line, I began teaching. Because for me, teaching is more of myself than a legal practice. In fact, if I had continued, I would have abandoned the legal practice altogether, because that is not myself. That is not my gift. Those are not the areas where I score, and go to precisely where I score. Two, all this time I had realized that I am a public servant. That is why I sit here today. That is who I am, and that is the best. If you wanted to get the best result in me, public service.
Yeah, but you see, again, now my worry is that we could give you now the position of Chief Justice, and you are unable to, being a judge is one thing, but being a Chief Justice with all these many responsibilities is a different thing altogether. It's a different ballgame. So, again, I would be worried that perhaps, you may not be able to manage that position. I keep reminding you that for us, whoever we appoint, we must be able to look in the eye in a Kenyan and say, this is why, So wouldn't that be one of the reasons probably that could create some doubts in our mind that perhaps we could give you that 11 months later you're not able to manage? And that time, and you see the removal process is a different thing altogether.
No. I don't see it that way. One, I don't see the link between, a Chief Justice and a private legal practice. Good, you relate with the practitioners up there, but you're not practicing yourself. You know how it is done. The only dilemma is that you cannot do it on your own. It is not your line. You may not be interested. You may not even know. You cannot be hung for that. This is a public office, a Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, which, any able leader would be able to do, particularly if you are fast, like I am. You'll be able to sit there and get everything connected. You have everybody that you require. And if you don't have, you could always bring them in so that you use them to get what you want. You are the leader. Legal practice, private legal practice, and this office, this grandiose office of Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, to me, not.
Okay. Second last question.
Please do.
Now, you see, if you become the Chief Justice, you'll be also the chair of this commission, JSA.
Yes.
You would actually come here and now be a primus inter pares. You'll be the first among equals. Now, I'm just wondering again, because managing us, you can say we are all from different, we are representing different constituencies. But you have to put us together, and we are one cohesive commission, chairing us, and all that. And of course, it's not an easy task. Eh?
It will never be easy.
Now, tell me, what is it you have that, gives you that? And of course, it has immense responsibilities vis-a-vis the institution of the judiciary. Because again, I'm looking at your CV, I'm looking at what you've done, and I'm still not seeing what is it that can be able to put you in that primary position of being able to make the commission function in a way that it's able to undertake its duties. And as you're answering that, this is the same commission, without getting into many details, you've already had so many issues with it, which you're aware of, and them that are still outstanding. So I'm still wondering, how would that work? Because, see, again, you can see the Court of Appeal is talking about tidiness, even as you are making decisions, as you are making certain considerations. I'm just wondering, how tidy would that be? That our chair now, will the chair come and start dealing with his issues first with us in the commission, or shall we get down with the business of making sure the commission is able to deliver on its obligations both to the judiciary and the Republic of Kenya?
Availability is not an issue whatsoever. The Judicial Service Commission has its obligations, which are dictated by law and practice. Who is in charge or not in charge will not make a difference. In this sense, if we are committed what we must do to fulfill our mandate as the Judicial Service Commission of the Republic of Kenya. And our roles are explicit. What it would require, is that we move on to create work plans for implementation and acquisition of the end result. I would lead in that, but I believe as the committee is knowledgeable, who have the goodwill, so that where I sleep, you raise me up. Where you sleep, I raise you up. So it is not this work. If the entirety of the Judicial Service Commission that we have today left, in a week we would have another Judicial Service Commission, and there would be continuity. The issue is not, I believe I am very, very able. I have a proven record. Go to Chuka, look around. You see what I have done. Even, my coffee shop, I will tell you, this person is able. etc. I have answered. How satisfactory the answer is,
so my last
another question.
You know,
sorry, there is a, sorry, if you allow me, good Commissioner, there is the issue, the second limb of the question, my issues with the Commission. Will you allow me to answer that?
Yes, go ahead.
Please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. My issues with the Commission are not personal. My issues with the Commission are as such issues with the Commission. The Commission would have the ability to deal with all those issues independently and freely, even if I was a chair. I'll just get out. That is what we do in the church or in any other meeting. If you are conflicted, or it is a matter which conflicts you, you take off, and the others make a decision. Good enough, yes. 9 complaints. I do not generate complaints. Complaints are managed by the Commission, and we shall not take that away from them. So even as a Chief Justice, as late as the other day, we knew and we had, it was public knowledge that the Chief Justice had complaints which the JESC would even ask him to answer for consideration. None of us is immune, and I thank God because Kenyans are at liberty to raise these issues, and we shall not take that right away, because that is what our independence is all about. We are accountable to them. They can raise 1,000 issues against me. I'll answer. If I fall, I am indicted, good enough.
I'm satisfied with that.
So my
well,
issues do not have nothing to do with
I'm
what
all right
the
with
Commission.
that.
Please.
You see, the hard reality, regardless of what we may think, whoever is the Chief Justice must be somebody who must attract the respect of the peers, and of course, even as they enter and they take that position, Kenyans can say yes. The person must come up with that. It must be somebody who people can say yes, that's a person who is befitting of the office. I'm not saying you don't, but do you think you have that? That's all. That's my last question.
Thank you, and thank you again. If you are looking for yes, it has been said very loudly, and I know that, and I'm not cheating myself. I can mark myself 90%. Kenyans have loudly said that is a man, the man of the moment, in the airwaves. I'm not talking about communication Commission of Kenya. No, I'm not talking about radio. I'm not talking about TV. But if you feel the air around Kenya today, it is very, very, very clear. We have. I said that this is a man. Did you see the 2 reviews I had the newspapers, the one on the Standard immediately after Easter, and the one on Sunday last. That is what I presume is the voice of Kenya.
Okay, thank you very much, my lord. I wish you well.
Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I will now request the Commissioner AG to ask you questions.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. My Lord Justice Marete, I would not wish to belabor you with too many questions, because many of which I would have asked have already been put to you and you've answered them. But just to follow up on what Honourable Commissioner Macharia has just been discussing. You seek this office against a backdrop of 35 odd years of experience. And you have attempted to persuade us that you are indeed the man for the moment. And you have sought to demonstrate that you would be able to learn and learn very quickly. And you said, my Lord, that you would engage the public as well as the judiciary staff, make them happy, motivate them, etc. Would you be pleased to tell us, Your Lordship, which existing organs within the judiciary currently which you would engage to enable you learn quickly and to achieve the mandate of the office? There are various organs existing within the judiciary as we sit here. Which are they, and how would you engage them?
One, we have